Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the School of Business and Technology's Alumni Spotlight Series. Our guest today is Trevor McLean. Mr. McLean, would you please tell us about yourself, such as the year that you graduated and your current position?
Sure. Thanks for having me today. Glad to be here. My name is Trevor McLean. My current position is with a multinational company called eClerks Digital. I am a senior process manager there, where I work in information technology, specifically RPA, robotic process automation, as an analyst. And I graduated in 2008 from Huston-Tillotson University, cum laude with a degree in international business.
Well, wonderful. That's very exciting. Have there been any breakthroughs or anything that you've participated in?
That's kind of a tough one. We've definitely experiencing a unique set of challenges these last couple of years. I think the greatest breakthrough so far with the company for my career was a trip to Mumbai, where I was actually able to reach headquarters in Mumbai, India, and generate some standard templates for our project management efforts for capturing automation initiatives and streamlining business processes therein. So I got to spend about 2 weeks there. I also got to travel to Pune, India. And those, I think the breakthrough aspect of that is really being able to put the international part of the business degree to use. So I'm really happy about that.
Oh, very exciting.
Sure.
Very exciting. That seems like it must have been quite the experience.
Definitely.
So what made you choose Huston-Tillotson University?
Well, I'm originally from Third Ward, Texas, in Houston. And the church that I've been a member of my entire life has always been affiliated. Pilgrim Congregational United Church of Christ is affiliated with Huston-Tillotson University. A number of their alumni were participants in our services, as well as our board of trustees. And so I think from an early age, I was influenced to at least visit Huston-Tillotson. And once I actually made the visit up to Austin, I was just thoroughly impressed and decided that it was a great fit for me.
This is a beautiful campus and a wonderful school. So I can definitely see the attraction there.
Yeah, indeed.
So please tell me about your favorite moment while at HTU, if there is a favorite moment, or if you want to share a few.
There are a number of those. The first, I guess, couple that come to mind were participating in the Mr. HT pageant, as well as pledging Omega Psi Phi fraternity. So those were, I don't know if you'd want me to elaborate there, but those are kind of the two large ones that come up. Oh, well, so one of the extremely rewarding aspects of pledging Omega Psi Phi was we, 7 other gentlemen and myself were allowed to reestablish a chapter that had been on moratorium for about 12 years. So we were able to represent the initial resurgence of Omega Psi Phi on the university campus. So that was great. It felt like making history. So shout out to those guys. All 7 of them, I made the 8th. So, and with Mr. Huston-Tillotson, the pageant was the first that I had ever participated in. It required a poem, an essay, a physical performance, and this was all held in the chapel. And you know, it was the first time I had to learn to kind of walk and pose. And I think I took a Toastmasters class or so to make sure that I was eloquent enough to compete. And I'll just never forget it. It was something that I promised my mother I would try because she wanted me to be representative of the school in some way, maybe just to brag to her friends. I never imagined that I would be a top contestant or even actually earn the title. So when I did, it was extremely rewarding.
What memorable experiences, and you're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh, I'm so Major Mother so proud. That
You're
is
much too
so
kind.
awesome. So to switch gears really quickly, why did you decide to major in business?
I think, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't completely certain of what I would do in life, but I didn't want to waste any time. So I looked at kind of degree plans with the most common prerequisite courses, and time along the way to kind of carve out a specialty. The years progressed. I was able to really understand through my articulation that the international concentration presented me some unique opportunities. I was able to study abroad. I was able to participate in the United States Commerce business seminar there, and those kind of sealed the deal for me in making my decision that that was the way that I wanted to go. At the time, it seemed like a way to travel the world while also earning all of the credentials that would allow me to thrive. So I thought that that presented the greatest or most broad opportunity for my imagination at the time. I've actually never been asked that, so sorry if that was a bit long.
No, I love it. The fact that this is the first time you've been asked this and that was your response, that's beautiful. So what did you like most about being in the School of Business and Technology?
You know, it was very close-knit the time that I was there. It was kind of, not sure how familiar you are with back in the 80s, but it was like a different world for me. So I got to be as geeky as probably I am, while also developing personally and collegiately, intellectually. It was very much family oriented. I remember spending a lot of class time in the W.E.B. Du Bois Scholars Program. And I feel like I kind of had an edge kind of on my coursework and my studies. And the faculty and staff, from the dean to the administrators, were just really helpful and empowering. So those are the things that I remember. They were always helpful with career development opportunities. Again, the study abroad program was fairly new as I was in, and that allowed me a lot of opportunity to exchange with international students too. That influenced my decision as well.
So it seems like the SBT was like the perfect environment for you to flourish and truly become the best or the next level version of yourself.
It was definitely a launching pad in developing my skill set and carving out my path.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. So how do you feel that the education that you received from the School of Business and Technology contributed to your career success?
Scholastically, I never felt, I know sometimes HBCUs get a tough rap or tough rep. I feel like my education scholastically, I never worried about being able to compete. Before I graduated Huston-Tillotson University, I was offered a job by JP Morgan. I felt like I was going pro. I felt like I was drafted. And that was before I completed my senior year. So I was really in the educational aspects of the school, the career process that I would evaluate. I'm really trying to think of that, how, because so much of education is personal interest. And so much of the workforce is experience. And so credentials and scholastic achievements are kind of cherries on top of the pie. They're accents to kind of the base of
main meal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to kind of spring off of that, would you recommend the School of Business and Technology at HT?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because the things that you get at Huston-Tillotson University, you won't be able to get anywhere else. As an educational institution, there are going to always commonalities between programs, between universities. There's the basic kind of prerequisite courses that you'll take. But the thing that's uniquely special about Huston-Tillotson University is the dynamic and the perspective of the scholastic achievements that you'll be tasked with achieving.
I will definitely say, based on my experience with the faculty here, things just seem so much more tangible for students. It's the support and the encouragement is on a whole other level.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that impersonal exchange doesn't happen as commonly as you would think at other institutions.
Oh yes, I am very familiar. It's like
No.
almost zero anywhere else.
Right. Right.
So what would you say to corporations about investing in the School of Business and Technology?
Corporations. I imagine that corporations will always be interested in developing pipelines that allow them to get the best talent possible. Partnering with Huston-Tillotson University gives you a unique influence on the curriculum. I would think the development of the talent that you mean to acquire, as well as the sharpening and the honing of skills that a direct exchange will give you. I think that a lot of times students kind of rely on the reputation of their school. And while and HT definitely stacks up with the best of them, HT always facilitated a very direct relationship with those hiring and those developing to be hired. And that's something that I think is very valuable for corporations. And I would definitely encourage them to develop pipelines with Huston-Tillotson to ensure that their level of talent is always at a superior level.
I could not have said that any better. That was perfect. So kind of a fun question to throw at you. How do you manage stress during busy periods?
Oh, wow. That one caught me off guard. Stress management is really important, really important. I guess just the cut and dry answer there is, I'm a type that I think sometimes, wow, I really don't know how I want to answer that. But I think the literal things that I do, I'm one that I'll take a soak. I like aromatherapy. I like candles. It's important to take time to do nothing, to just completely decompress, to allow your mind. Also, studying kind of helps you hone your craft. I like to keep up with current events in my industry. That makes me feel like whatever's going on at work, I'm still preparing myself to be well-rounded and versatile in my position. The more kind of perspectives that I feel I myself to, the more valuable asset I feel I am to my company. So I'd say, I light a candle. I try to keep up with current events, reading magazines, industry news, periodicals. And, on the really tough days, I will put some Epsom salt in a bath and I'll soak.
That's excellent advice. And I just want to point out really quickly, the doing nothing is something that we're told, if you're doing nothing, you're wasting time. And it's the opposite, allowing yourself to do nothing actually lets you process and reset, and be able to move forward with a fresher perspective. Or because I think a lot of folks forget that it's okay to do nothing. And it's a good thing to do nothing sometimes. Sure. So what personal strengths have helped you succeed in your career?
So I mentioned the public speaking courses for the pageant. They've definitely had residual effects. Being able to be eloquent and well-spoken can really carry you into a lot of rooms that you might not otherwise be aware of. Also experience. I think that as you know, I'm trying to kind of summarize this without giving too much of a sob story. I think it's important to travel and build on your experience, and I think that those things. So again, my experience and public speaking courses kind of have really allowed me to access some doors and gateways that I might not otherwise have been able to. Yeah, I think that's probably the best answer I could give you.
Okay.
Right, because in so many ways, as human beings, there's only so many degrees of separation that really differentiate us. You know, during these challenging times, I think we find more and more that we have more similarities than we do differences. And so the ability to kind of hone in on your expertise and properly emphasize them is really the task there, right? That's really what it's about, accentuating those things that you do well. You'll find that, you know, like I use the example of speaking well or trying to learn to speak better. There's always a ton of people in Toastmasters classes, right? You're never, it's never absolute, but the dedication is what is going to differentiate you. That's what's going to kind of give you the edge. And realistically, in interviews specifically, the ability to market and present yourself in time is going to have a resounding effect on your success. At least my experience has shown me so.
And mine has as well. So you're speaking factually right there for sure. Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps us up. I wish our conversation could be longer. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I really enjoyed my time at Huston-Tillotson University. I wouldn't take it back for anything in the world. It was incredibly valuable to me. The life lessons, the people I met, the faculty that I got to interact with, and experiences that I was able to participate in are just so valuable to me. The relationships. It was a very, very enriching and empowering experience. And I would certainly recommend Huston-Tillotson University to any kind of young person that's looking to kind of, you know, establish themselves in a way that can be residually profitable, but also have an experience that is rewarding, that they can be proud of.
Thank you. If you got to be a brand new color in the color box, what color would you be?
What comes to mind is obsidian. It's a unique color, and it kind of has color within it, right? Yeah. You know, it's one of those few things where, you know, it's completely black, which to me can be utterly mysterious and intriguing. And then when you
shine it in the
hold
light,
it up to the light, it becomes golden. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's really indicative of the human experience. Certainly relatable to other people in my color box. Or at least I'd hope so. So I would go with obsidian, black gold.